Bowers Game Corner presents Gen Con Video Bonanza 2014. Made possible by Billionaire Banshee, Guys, Games, and Beer, Dashing Inventor Games, creators of the Simple System role-playing game system, and Zonko, makers of Mobs, the t-shirts that turned life into an RPG.
Ahoy there, YouTube. We're back again with our Gen Con Bonanza, and I'm very excited to be talking with Grant right now from Columbia Games, and we're going to be checking out Victory in Europe.
Yes, sir. Victory in Europe, our latest Kickstarter project. We've just got a prototype of the map here, and here's the title up here, Victory in Europe. This is a game about World War II. It's the whole war, in Europe at least, from 1939 to 45, that is playable in a single evening, like 4 hours. Kind of try to fill a niche there with both sophistication and playability. What is unique about this game and all of the Columbia games are the pieces that we use. I'll show them to you real quick here. These are colloquially called the wooden block games. And so we have units that are on wooden pieces here, and they stand up on their end like that. You see how they're standing like that? So it's there's a Sherman tank here, an American Sherman tank, and when it's like this, with the number 3 oriented up, that's a full power, 3 strength Sherman tank. It rolls 3 dice in the game, and it therefore could get 3 hits or less. If it takes a hit from an enemy unit, we turn it like that. Now we've got 2 tanks, or a wounded tank, and you can turn it again down to 1. If you hit it again, it's gone. You can also use your production, your factories, to invest in rebuilding them back up. So that is a big part of the game, is trying to keep your troops up to strength, build new ones, and some of them have availability only later in the war, so there's maybe a year on them or something like that. So it does reflect the history as well as we can. It's got, as you saw, the tank, it's got planes, it's got ships, so it is a multi-arm simulation with all of the different aspects of the war. It's driven by cards. So we have cards for starting in 39 all the way through to 1945. They are an Allied deck of cards and an Axis one. Same basic idea. And they have a number on them that tells you how many attacks you're allowed to make, and an event. So this is a little production thing where you get a couple of cruisers. And they vary all over the place. So different number and a slightly different event. And as time goes on, they change. So you start out in 39, and then later on you get some Russian ones, and they get a little bigger and more powerful to represent the flow of the war. And the Germans have the same stuff. So what you're doing in the game is playing a card, each of us, or if there's a Soviet involved, then 3 of us. And a high card plays first, moves units on the board, which will be located in areas. Like an area like London or something, and you can move all your pieces if you want to up to their distance, which is given on the piece. This guy moves 2 spaces, and that will also start some fights, presumably, if you attack where the enemy is located, and then we'll use dice to resolve that fight, and that's where this number 3 is relevant. That's 3 dice, and it's also relevant in here, this little figure in here, this C2. So the units will have a rating of A, B, C, or D, and that is the order that they shoot in. So actually I got a couple of examples here, a B and a C. So the point of this is that the B goes first and the C goes next. And if there's attacking units or defending units of the other army, it could be interleaved. They may have an A, they may have a B, and if both players have the same letter code, the defender with that letter code shoots first. So the unit rolls the number of dice that it is at its current strength. It gets hits on this figure or less. So that's a 2-hit number or less. So this unit would roll 4 dice and get hits every time it rolls a 1 and a 2. And so you can kind of assume that it'll get 1 hit and maybe a little bit more. You do a little bit of mathematics to calculate what you think might happen, but you don't do it in a literal sense of an odds table or boiling everything down to a single die roll. You actually have an interactive arrangement here where I've got the dice and I'm rolling, and then I pass you the dice to roll for your unit, and then back and forth, and somebody wins the battle at the end and ends up in control of the area, and then you do it all again.
And you said 2 to 3 players?
2 or 3, correct. It's either the Axis versus the Allies, or you split the Soviets off into a 3rd player.
And
This was on Kickstarter, successfully funded. When can the general public?
Yeah, it was just funded this summer. Did really well. We got about 1,000 copies pre-sold, and it'll be shipping the moment we're ready. I'm now going to say about October 1st. We're working on it every day, except when we're here, and it's coming together. It's
Website to steer people towards?
Sure, ColumbiaGames.com, and it's right there on the front page. Victory in Europe, can't miss it.
All right. Thank you very much, Grant. That's Victory in Europe from Columbia Games. And if you're enjoying this coverage, be sure to check out one of our sponsors, Guys, Games, and Beer, and be sure to click the subscribe link below if you enjoy this.
Bauer's Game Corner presents Gen Con Video Bonanza 2014. Made possible by Billionaire Banshee, Guys, Games, and Beer, Dashing Inventor Games, creators of the Simple System role-playing game system, and Zonko, makers of Mobs, the t-shirts that turned life into an RPG.